welcome to the 10th episode of Strategic Zoomcast. And in the south we have RedxWings, who is operating with NKVD rifle disruption tactics. He went into this game with that being his only commander at his disposal, as he often does, to try and throw his opponents off a little bit by telling them exactly what he intends to do. He has tier 1 up, he has his first conscript out, and he also has a penal battalion building from tier 1. So you can imagine he's going to take advantage of the many houses of Semwa. I refuse to call it Semwoski, it sounds stupid. Of Semwa, with the flame projectile based penal battalion infantry. That's going to be very good. He also has 2 combat engineers, which could also lend themselves to that indeed. And in general, Semwa is often seen as a rather allied favoured map, especially in Company Heroes 2, because the shot blockers and sight blockers now, because with True Sight you also have now sight blockers, it leaves MGs a little bit vulnerable. So you can often see major flanks with Molotovs or indeed flame projectile weaponry against the MGs, causing them to suffer. However, the Axis do have one ace up their sleeve in general. If you take up this building here or this building here, indeed you can press the Semwa pin upon your opponent. So that dynamic of play is always present. Interestingly, RedxWings is putting barbed wire up on this point here. What that will allow him to do is to keep this cut off, the munitions cut off, if you notice. So the Grenadier here is capping the munitions, but it does not matter because this cut off is taken. Obviously now with Semwa, the fuel are further flung than they were in Company Heroes 1, but they are closer than they are in Company Heroes 2 Winter Semwa version, with not being there anymore. MG's currently in the church, the Citadel of Destruction. In terms of what Don't Know is currently doing, it seems like he's going for a rather infantry-heavy build. He's got 3 Grenadiers and the MG, and he's using his Pioneer to cap RedxWings' munition cut-off. So neither player is going to have an abundance of munitions right now, and that probably will help Don't Know more than it will help RedxWings, because RedxWings, of course, is going for penal battalions. He needs as many flamethrowers as he can, and there we go. The first one has been teched, instantly becoming suppressed. That is unfortunate for RedxWings, I guess, because he probably would have wanted to draw fire with this penal battalion while this one gets some flame shots in. More conscripts coming out, so he's got 2 of everything. He's pretty much Noah at this point. Pioneer inflicting damage with its flamethrower. Elsewhere, I'm just going to quickly show you that this Grenadier is now capping the fuel. Pioneer's going to have to get out of the house because it's got some heavy shots coming in on it. And indeed, this flamethrower is no longer suppressed, so he can do some heavy damage. MG has a decent cone of fire. It will be different though if the flamethrower gets in that house and puts fire on it. He is going to instead change direction, allowing Don't Know to get back in the house. I've checked out Don't Know's stats. He is a pretty damn good player. Both penals having to retreat. This conscript is going to literally keep RedxWings' bridgehead against Don't Know. Going to hopefully stop RedxWings' entire munitions income being cut off. Well, not entire. This is Company Heroes 2. You get tactical points, strategical points that give you some inflow, but you want those big bad high munitions points really, and the high fuel points. That's the key to getting in a strong and dominant position. Mine planted here on the bridgehead of his opponent, so both players are currently in a bit of a war of symmetry. Elsewhere we've got healing in base, so he's going to lick his wounds for a while and hopefully get back in this. Pioneer under a little bit of fire. I won't call it heavy fire because it's only combat engineers. They do have muzzle nagats, but they aren't very accurate. Or they don't have many of them because there's only 4 guys in the squad. I'm not sure. I think it might be a combination of both. This Grenadier is going to have to retreat. Obviously, there is a gap here. So he possibly could have put the mine a little bit close to that gap, because if you think about it, infantry squads are always going to arc around that point. And sometimes they'll arc around that point, but they rarely go straight over the road. Maybe that's for a vehicle later, and what it might end up being. We'll watch that. Grenadier Has he gone round that? He might have gone all the way around there, to be honest. Elsewhere, got a battle for this standard territory point. It's not of much significance, this territory point. It just is a part of the jigsaw. Of course, if this was the winter, it would be a fuel point. So bunker coming up now for healing. I'll take a moment to describe just why I've been putting so much content on YouTube this weekend. I am utterly skint, which is British English for... Oh, Minesweeper on the Pioneer, so another Pioneer has been built for don't know. Great. Counter to that. Combat Engineer having to retreat through heavy MG fire. Will escape the cone of fire now. But this Combat Engineer might not be so lucky, and in fact... Oh no, the MG's going to have to reface to face this penal battalion. Suppress him, but he probably will get into the church. That has allowed the Combat Engineer to escape with its life, though, so that was a stroke of luck. Penal battalion with its flamethrower as well. That also declared that anti-tank grenade package has been upgraded, so he is going to thwart anything that comes out of tier 2, but I'm not sure we'll be seeing a 2-2-2. Well, it wouldn't be too bad of an idea, but you just don't know with this player. This MG's going to have to get out of there. It's sustaining heavy losses. He is waiting for the squad back to give him backup, but you'd never want to lose an MG, and RedxWings possibly would have gone for that steal, even under heavy fire, to be honest. Maybe not, but you can never be too careful where it comes to the 260 manpower, all crucial MG on Sem 1. Giving it to your opponent could be a death null. Elsewhere, this conscript's coming into play. Penal battalion putting heavy fire. In fact, it's a battle of flames. Pyrotechnics from both squads there. Penal battalions do win out behind their yellow cover. Now moving on to red cover, so hopefully the Grenadiers, for RedxWings' sake, don't get shots in. Barbed wire cut here finally, so he is now going to be able to get his heavy munitions. He has indeed got RedxWings' heavy munitions in the north at the moment, so steady income for don't know. In terms of fuel, he's got 100. He has gone for Panzer Grenadiers from tier 2 first. Right, now you've got Combat Engineers taking the victory points because he's going to have to do that. If you notice, don't know is still on 500. RedxWings, however, has dipped to 320. In RedxWings' base, he has got tier 3. He's got 66 fuel, so he already could have bought an M5 by now, but he's chosen not to, so possibly a T70 to come out. He's got a worker battle here. His Combat Engineer is also taking a Minesweeper, so soon it'll be a Minesweeper worker battle. We'll come back to that later, it could be a long one. Panzer Grenadiers darting in and out behind buildings. It did see the flamethrower there. Indeed, RedxWings has taken position behind this yellow cover tree against a green cover wall, but you'll notice that the rifles versus submachine gun meta is massively at display there, and the Pioneers indeed are losing despite being behind heavy cover. It's all about the range in that little miniature battle. So he's capping there. He's keeping the cut-off house, or the strong house, whatever you want to call it, against the bridgehead. Bridgehead house might be a nice way to say it. Pioneer coming in, going to push away the penal and the conscript.
We are losing a sector.
And this will now give Don't Know another chance at possibly pushing his initiative upon the map. And there we go, more back and forth action on Semois. Panzer Grenadier pointing heavy fire down. Good retreat by RedxWings, saw it early. So he now has tier 3. He's got a steady fuel income as well, so he could be looking at that very shortly. Just needs to get Pioneers back to base, and no doubt. It's currently getting his Grenadiers healed. Quick scout for mines. Oh, there's a mine being laid here. Telemine on the bridgehead. Doesn't look like RedxWings is going to see that in time. Could be to his ruin later in the game. I'll have to wait and see how that works out. Frontline infantry battle in the north. This is not, however, a fair battle because Vet 2 penals with a flamethrower will wreak certain damage upon your Grenadiers. You're going to have to retreat, Don't Know, with your Pippa Vet. We do indeed... Oh, and another tower coming up here. Rifle nade just there, killing 2 models. He's going to probably have to retreat from that Grenadier. Indeed he does. So there's a teller there, so we've got 2 tellers in prominent positions, one on the crossroads and one on the southern bridge. And he's got a really strong amount of DPS focused around this bridgehead now. God, this conscript's going to have to retreat through a hail of fire. You've got a pioneer with a flamethrower, you've got a grenadier, you've got a panzer grenadier, and an MG, which is currently repositioning. I doubt it'll make it out alive. In fact, I'd bet my flat on it. I'd say house, but I live in a flat. And there you go, the pioneers get the kill, so it didn't even clear the first hurdle. Combat engineers retreating from their harassment. Conscripts pushing, cutting the munitions off, and he's going to have to ignore the MG for now. He's taking another conscript to account for the lost one. He spent his fuel on tier 4. Interesting. This penal manages to retreat. Fortunately for it, this combat engineer might not be so lucky though. One more burst. Oh, and it goes down, possibly to the grenadier there. I was about to say RedxWings was lucky because the MG was distracted, but the second squad wasn't still lucky. And we go, the penals are now taking that point in there. Conscripts fighting for victory points. He has kept the north one for a while, but so he has finally diminished Don't Know's Imperious 500 count. He himself is now closer to halfway. Infantry squad down. Trying to work out what that was. One of the grenadiers somewhere. Sorry to have missed it. Could have been there. In fact, it probably was there. Ooh, we just had mines go down. An S minefield on the bridgehead now, with a teller mine just behind it. However, this teller has been swept by this minesweeper engineer, so this is a really good high-level game. I'm really enjoying this so far. Doesn't matter if you escape this MG, you've got an S mine to walk through if you do escape its clutches. Pioneer at Vet 2, probably having polished off that conscript squad, that's contributed massively. STG's raining fire down on the penals. Minesweeper moving to possibly go and cap the munitions. He's got a tandem of pretty damaging infantry there. And he's adding to his infantry-based army. He's got another Panzer Grenadier cooking.
Panzer Grenadiers standing by.
So he's going to have a lot of fuel saved. If he wants to go lightning ward, he certainly could get that Tiger if he'd like.
We are losing a sector.
Other doctrines he could go at this point, Osttroop and Mobile Defense, and they tend to be either early or mid-game. Osttroop and obviously early game choice, and Mobile Defense and mid-game choice against light armour play. So he hasn't seen that, so you'd probably seen always present lightning war doctrine. You do see that in a hell of a lot of games, especially tournament games recently. This conscript is going to have to retreat through an MG, but fortunately for it, no, the penals aren't catching up with the MG yet. Maybe the conscript will save its life, because it's a very lowly health squad. Oh, the S-mine! I forgot about the S-mine! Oh, there's another squad wipe. So we've got a T-3476 building. A fuel cache down now as well for Don't Know, so a hell of a lot of fuel income to add to his plentiful bounty. He of course, there we go, penals now push the MG away. He of course does have a decent lead on this game, having wiped several squads. And he is now having to full retreat, so there you go, flamethrowers on Senoir are very powerful, as explained earlier. They're putting some fire down on the combat engineers. This could be, if the Panzer Grenadiers do well in this battle, they are indeed doing well. They nearly killed the Grenadier, but he's probably going to have to retreat, because you don't want to lose a man on your Panzer Grenadiers, if at all, ever, to be honest. As soon as they get any low health, you want to get them back and heal, because they cost a lot. Now then, I was going to quickly show you the stats so far, and indeed, look at the losses for RedxWings. And look at the damage dealt for Don't Know. Here comes the T-3476. Obviously, sweep artillery early, so I suppose he can presume, and quite rightly so, that that's a safer area, I guess. Because they are expensive telemines.
This is a nice spot of land, and it is ours.
T-34, fucking Panzers, as the Panzer Grenadiers call them. Looks ever so small when you zoom out, doesn't it? Not an insignificant tank in the war, in fact, pound for pound, arguably the greatest tank of all time if you consider its ease of production, usability, and overall effect in the field of
Our
combat.
opponents are seizing a sector.
Probably a lot of people didn't like that when I started that sentence, but my mitigating factors hopefully explain why it could be argued as the greatest tank of all time.
Territory is out of contact.
And in this game, it's not had a starring role since like 2014, especially when it got moved to tier 4. It's definitely been not as relied upon as it was when the game first came out. When the game first came out, it was probably the most produced tank, either that or the Panzer IV, which we now see coming onto the field. Sorry, I got excited there because it's completed my sentence for me. And that's nice. Wow, a lot of damage done with that T-34 shell. 76mm shell. A lot of damage on that building. He is now capping the fuel, so he's trying to diminish any more T-34s going onto the
We
field.
are losing a sector. Our machine gun turret has been installed.
Here comes the Panzer IV. Oh, looks like this tower... No, this tower has not been swept. Sorry, I saw the combat engineer go near it. It could have lit it up, but maybe he went north of the church. Nice one from RedxWings. He's got rapid conscription, so that should make up for manpower losses. Because indeed, he's chosen NKVD rifle tactics. Well, not chosen it. He chose it in the first instance of the game. And that was a swept telemine. He put down a mine of his own. Bloody hell. Great work from RedxWings. He did that right under the nose of both the caster and his opponent. The Panzer IV is retreating furiously. He's trying to bring in the Faust to hopefully, for his sake, get some damage down on the T-34. The Panzer Grenadier goes down, so the second built Panzer Grenadier is also down. Penals do just enough work, and the T-34 mops them up. Panzer IV is left pretty much immobile there. It's got just engine damage. Fortunately for Don't Know, it isn't heavy engine damage, so he possibly will escape with his life. T-34 was sufficiently damaged. Grenadier, though, is now retreating. Win the arc of fire. One more shot needed. Oh, it is a miss for RedxWings. Doesn't quite mop it up. Panzer IV using the bonus road to try and retreat his Panzer IV to safety. So that was a great swapping of the mines there. He removed a Teller and he put down one of his own mines. Great stuff. We could have seen that if we counted how many individual mine plates were in the field. If it was 3, it was a Soviet mine. 4 for a Teller. MG having to retreat. Rapid conscription again utilised. He does indeed have a bonus conscript there.
Lost an MG team.
MG goes down. Sorry I missed that. I was too excited to see the new conscript for some reason, but it does indeed die. So that's a great steal for RedxWings. We're 19 minutes into this game. He's stolen an MG. He thwarted a Panzer IV. He didn't knock it out, however, and it is now going to finally get repaired by the Vet 2 Pioneers. Here comes the second T-34-76. So this is a fantastic game. Really difficult to keep up with the action, just about managing it. Thanks in kind to a little bit of zooming out. That does help a bit, but, you know, another S-mine down on the victory points, so continued munitions spent. He does have a lot more fuel in the bag, though. He's now up to 11 command points, so I am predicting a Tiger to be deployed. This T-34, we've got a Grenadier up against penal battalions here. They need to get a few shots in before they advance on them, but we've also got a Panzer Grenadier trying to stop the flanking conscripts, but this T-34 will put a stop to things. No Shreks teching on the Panzer Grenadier. It would have been fortuitous if that had happened. Grenadier's under a lot of fire. Got a rifle grenade not killing any models. That is unfortunate for Don't Know. He's now going to have to retreat and he's going to be under heavy fire whilst he does so. But he has got the Panzer IV, which has been repaired, trying to put heavy fire on the tank. As soon as it gets any close damage, he will try and go for a Faust. He went for a Faust first, I think, before the damage came in. Ill timing from Don't Know. If he can... He is under the threat of... Oh god, an anti-tank grenade goes in, so RedxWings did the right thing. He waited for a slight bit of damage on it, then he threw the anti-tank grenade. Both tanks in kind now have a little bit of damage themselves, so they are opened up to Faust. Will we see a dual Faust on one of them? But there really isn't any point now because, well, I suppose there is to stop it. It could have stopped it attacking them on retreat, so Faust still could have been a good option there, just to stop one of those tanks pursuing on retreat. But there you go, so Lightning was been chosen, and it would have been really good for Don't Know if he kept one of those, well, kept his Panzer IV alive. So he's not just got the Tiger, but he's also got the medium armour to help support it. So this Tiger, because we can talk about it as though it exists now, because all he needs is 640 manpower, so 200 manpower more, and 6 fuel more, and it'll soon be on the field. This Tiger is going to be pretty unopposed. It's up against 2 T-34s as we speak. Of course, 100 fuel needed, so RedxWings is close to a third. And of course, as we have seen, anti-tank grenades. We still do not see tier 2, so no Ziz guns. We could see an Su-85 though, that would be a good option. Now that we see that and a pack, so there you go, there's the Panzer IV equivalent in kind. Well, it's taking up the role of what the Panzer IV should have been doing. So 320 manpower had to be spent there. So he must have already had that queued, I guess, because when we've counted his manpower, it said 200 to go, so he timed that really well, actually, because he kind of timed it so he just had the right amount of fuel and manpower at the same time, having already bought the pack, so great work there. It's not often you see timing that good. Fuel coming up for RedxWings, so although he did manage to defeat the fuel cache of Don't Know that we saw here earlier, in fact he's now capping this fuel point. Tiger's first action on the game. Great mine there, wiping, it seems, 3 Panzer Grenadiers. Going to have to retreat. No, he's going to stick in it. Pretty ballsy move. Tiger's ready. Ready to rock. It's got its pintle mount. It's got infantry backup. It's got a pack backing up, so it's a very strong position for Don't Know. He could in turn be what we like to call the Wehrmacht cube of Semois. That's where they occupy this area here. Of course, with Semois now having the fuel right in the far reaches, that can't quite be a cube anymore. We now have German territory. No snipers for Don't Know. Of course, he is against Soviets, so overall, each individual model is not as worth much as you need. Bloody hell, that's a flying bush. Does it land in the lake? No, it goes into the underworld. How strange. I have noticed with strategic zoomcasts, I do tend, there you go, you can see just how much he's focusing the centre. I've noticed you tend to notice bugged debris a lot more with a strategic zoomcast because you're zoomed out a little bit more. So the 2 T-34s are waiting. Ooh. Third one is built, so he's got 3 T-34s. I'd love to see an attack where all tanks come in at once against the Tiger tank. That would be fantastic to see. So he's capped the fuel, he doesn't have the cut-off, he's got the victory points both again. He has pushed RedxWings down to 173 now. He himself has 342. RedxWings has pushed up quite far here. He's got a conscript behind a green cover, so he's going to try and keep him penned in from advancing towards his own fuel. So this Tiger's going to be unaccompanied for quite a while in terms of fuel. Ooh, we've got the Sturmovix coming in. Coming from the south. Oh, the Tiger tank, sorry, the T-34s are also coming in. They do shots against the Garrison Grenadier. Great damage against the house there, pushing him indeed away. T-34s do relent. They do sense the pack is there, having sustained one shot. Another pack is coming out for Don't Know. This Vet 3 Pioneer putting heavy damage on the Vet 3 Penal Battalion. Technically he is, I suppose, in green cover, so he is suffering, I suppose, bonus damage. I'd love to know if the bonus damage for received accuracy against flamethrowers is directional. The game thinks, right, you're behind cover, you're going to receive bonus damage. Sturmovik coming in again. The only AA on the field is currently the pintle mount. There you go, you saw it target it. The T-34 is waiting for one of them to get a little bit of repairs in. Here's the second pack. Shots in it again from the flying tank. Flying really low considering the camera angle, I guess. Now he's taking his own cut off. He's got the Tiger, which still has, well, no, it's climbed to 5 kills. I always do the lean in thing when I can just hover over it. I need to hover over things because I'm going to hurt my eyes straining to see that number one day. God, the combat engineer's got really close. It wants to die, seemingly. I don't know what it's doing. Probably, no, is he? Yeah, no, he was getting line of sight, I guess, for seemingly nothing. He died. No, he's still alive. If he lives, he's a really ballsy squad mate. We did see the anti-tank grenade going. That was a bloody ballsy combat engineer. So the anti-tank grenade has gone in. Just enough damage to... Pack has been decreed. There is a second pack though, so this could stop the Tiger from being destroyed. The first T-34, the one at the front of the chain, did get destroyed. Got this one round the back, a Vet 2 T-34. Main got destroyed on the Tiger, however the pack is focusing the more dangerous T-34, and the T-34 gets the kill. Screw the forums. T-34s aren't as bad as you think. Look at them do work there against the Tiger tank. 3 needed, 26 minutes in. Leaving Don't Know with only 80 fuel because he has been cut off for a prolonged period. He now still does have 2 packs, however he only managed to kill one of the 3 T-34s that were involved in that. So you could argue that now puts RedxWings in the lead, especially because 2 Grenadiers in total have died, seemingly off camera. Looking for some dead bodies, can't seem to find any. It's been a very intense game, a lot of action in pocketed areas spread throughout the map. T-34 getting up there, this one's backing up. You don't want to stay in there with Panzer Grenadiers for too long. Of course they are trying to get line of sight for the packs that are advancing. All the while a ZIS now has been built, so he was fearing the Tiger whilst it was alive. However, T-34s did the work for RedxWings. He trusted them, even if you might not have done. Good flame damage on the conscripts. They're going to retreat through the STG fire, who are in turn under flame fire themselves. Do the conscripts die? They do indeed. He's now got prop war against the central ground there. Or fear propaganda artillery as it's known in the coming years too, causing suppression and even pinning these squads, allowing the penals to push. There you go, the retreat has been forced. Elsewhere we've got penals pushing again, the Muse was cut off. Another Panzer Grenadier coming onto the field. So it feels like he needs these SGGs doing work for him. He's already got 116 fuel, so I don't know what he's going to be doing with that. The T-34s are only going to get stronger. You've got this one on Vet 2. The others are doing, you know, they showed their worth in that Tiger battle. Sorry, this one, by the way, is a brand new T-34, so that's the 4th built in this game total, so 400 fuel spent overall. Just going to get the exact cost of it. There you go, another one can be built now. 80 fuel, my god! I thought 100 fuel. It is indeed 80 fuel, 300 manpower, so I think that was an October change. Really, really cheap units now. You just have to wait a long time to get them. But then when you've got them, you can amass them, and in true Soviet fashion. But this T-34, that was in recon mode and in a lot of peril, and that's the most valuable one on the field because it has veterancy too. It has been stunned, which is really unfortunate for RedxWings and very fortunate for Don't Know. So he picks up the veteran T-34 there. And he did click a fear of propaganda artillery, which is going to cause the pack to retreat. Obviously it's not a Rakettenwerfer, so it can't actually retreat. But it will have the icon on top of it for a while. I once got told the dynamics of that. I'm pretty sure it can't retreat. It's going to have to go back to base to get healed up anyway. Somebody remind me in the comments. I'm sorry, I'm 30 minutes into the cast and that is something I can't remember. I think it... Is it a bug that it shows the arrow, but it does it go on like a sentient journey towards base? You know, a mindless zombie journey rather. Vet 3 Penal Battalion having to retreat. It looks like a Royal Marine with that heavy backpack, but it is indeed a flamethrower canister. 2 T-34s dawning on the veteran Grenadier and the Panzer Grenadier. Could be in for a crush if they stay behind that cover for too long. He's going to target it. This is bad for Don't Know. Oh god, he was just asking for that to happen. Hitting cover, it gets bonus damage with the splash radius, and it just absolutely dissipated them.
The sector has been cut off.
So that's a spot of bother for Don't Know. He's showing a little bit of fatigue there slightly, because I think any Company Heroes player worth their salt would not have kept that damaged Panzer Grenadier in the line of sight of the T-34s for too long. Katusha on the field. This will be its first salvo, so let's try and capture this.
The enemy is taking
Possibly
our
against base to
territory.
pick up the Grenadier, indeed. Oh! Cuts a silhouette around the Grenadier. And again! Jesus Christ, that is one lucky squad mate. He indeed gets his friend. That was really unlucky for RedxWings. When he sees this cast and watches that squad, he's going to really be screaming at RNGesus for that. Again, picking off a squad there. His first kill for that T-34, the other. It's on 5. Obviously, with that entire squad wipe, he's got 1 pip of vet and he's well on his way to veterancy 2. So RedxWings is amassing in the south, waiting and biding his time, it seems. And he's in a very prominent position here. Don't know, of course, has 172 fuel, and he does have a resilient amount of VPs. He's got 240, so he's in a position where he can push still. His infantry corps is 4 infantry strong, 3 of them of which have veterancy 3. He spent his munitions. No, that indeed is another mine there for RedxWings, TM35. Now, I used to swear that Soviet mines had 3 plates. Must have been wrong on that one. Sometimes they're submerged, I guess. Here we go, we've got Sturmovik attacks again. Flying tank reporting in for battle. Not doing as much damage as it'd like. It did focus a pack. There will be another pass shortly. It is the heavy 180 munitions variety. There we go, great display there as 3 men die on that Grenadier. Late retreat for Don't Know. He was dealing with danger there. Katusha coming in for the kill. 5th built T-34, 3rd on the field, is amassing with its brethren. You've got the Katusha waiting. He's going to have to go for a Panzer IV. That probably isn't wise against this amount, but if he can group it with the packs, I guess he could do some damage. Katusha's coming in. Will it be more lucky this time? Spreading again, cutting a silhouette around the Grenadier. One of these rockets to land. Again, missing. Sturmovik doing damage on the packs. Katusha's finished. Again, no kills for that Katusha. 1 kill, he's got a kill somewhere. Don't know how he did that. Possibly on the retreated Pioneer, perhaps, on the last salvo. Packs are in a nice position behind this shot blocker. Probably waiting for the T-34s to make the move, but RedxWings is too wise for that, and he's got a Zis. He wasn't expecting the Zis. No one ever expects the Zis, as Monty Python might have said. And it is indeed opening up. First shot penetrates. Got the conscripts doing decent damage to this pack and indeed getting the anti-tank grenade off, but they do die for their troubles. Penal Battalion's going to keep line of sight for the pack. T-34 sense blood splitting and now going to diverge upon the Panzer IV, running into the line of sight of the packs. They are going to get around. Field propaganda artillery coming down. This looks like the end game for Don't Know. If this Panzer IV abandoned T-34 doesn't need that, the Panzer IV is going to get some rear armour shots in. One does indeed hit the haystack instead of penetrating. That's not what he needs. There you go. So at least the T-34 dies, but they're so cheap it doesn't matter, and the Panzer IV's now dead itself. A Faust is going to come in. The packs are still alive thanks to the Panzer Grenadiers who manned them. Great shot in from the T-34s. They're now darting behind the packs. This one gets hit, but he would have rather that one get hit. Grenadier going down. No, indeed, the T-34 does get knocked out. All the while, the Katusha's probably recharging. Oh, great work from the T-34 to deman the packs, and the packs now getting stolen. And there's no infantry nearby to reman the packs. So I can't see what Don't Know's going to do. He's got 90 fuel at this point. Katusha probably going to open up. Will it be lucky this time? Very slow. But of course he mistimed it a little bit before because it was a bit too soon. Oh, this could be better. Oh, again missing. Worst Katusha ever. At least destroys the med bunker on its 3rd attempt. It's got 2 kills in total. Suppose some of the medics, do they count as kills? I'd love to know that. Second thing I'm asking of you, the viewer, in this. Do medic kills count as kills on the unit count? I'd love to know that. Now then, in terms of victory points, it's still quite even. In fact, RedxWings for the first time is now in the lead, 129 to 115. So he's got a ZIS, he's got a stolen pack. Of course, he's lost a lot of infantry over the course of this battle. Every single conscript he's built has died, and died for a lot of purpose, I guess. You did see the anti-tank grenade reduce the Panzer IV's mobility massively and allow him to get the kill there. Interestingly, he's teched for a munitions cache here. That was not a fuel cache as I first thought. He's got the bridgehead house. He's got the T-34 firing. He's got the Katusha being utterly useless. Panzer Grenadiers could kill a Katusha if they got close to its rear armour and pushed. Stug 3 is now coming out, so that's showing you don't know has been his massive fuel stocks have been massively reduced because he started with a Panzer IV Tiger, Panzer IV Stug, so he's peaked and now he's you know, fading a little bit with what he's able to field. I mean, Stugs are good, but this isn't a great map for Stugs because it's so you know, so many zigzags and shot blockers and sight blockers. They do tend to lend themselves more to open maps, like the west side of Angerville, crossing in the woods. And GG well played as called by Don't Know. He sees the writing on the wall. He sees that he's now getting dangerously close in terms of victory points, and he indeed throws in the towel. And I'd like to at this point plug my own shit. I had an Argentan Crossroads video come out today. That's really good in my opinion. I urge you to go and watch that. Tomorrow I'll be releasing my first Rattenkrieg episode in 2 years, thanks to a Reddit post that I made calling the Gunny Heroes Reddit community to answer a challenge in beating the easy AI in fastest time as possible, and they were awesome. The amount of entries I had was staggering, and I'm really looking forward to posting that video tomorrow, showing the results. And thank you for watching. I'm going to go and play Fallout now, I think. Get away from bloody Company of Heroes, I'm sick of it. Thank you, and goodbye.